psychologist in the world. Those internationally renowned psychologists couldn't cure Ling Chuan, but you did. You can cure someone who has suffered from autism for 20 years, so don't you want to heal the hatred in your own heart? Yes, her parents and sister all died in Shanghai. Did she really want to never go back? No, perhaps she really should go back. With resolve, Olivia Wen agreed. I'll go back to Shanghai with you. I can leave any time. Gu Lingchuan frowned and said in a low voice, you don't have to force yourself. I can stay with you on this small island for the rest of my life. His tone was firm and ardent, as if no one could force her if she said she didn't want to. Olivia Wen understood his feelings, but didn't know how to respond to them and could only smile slightly. I want to go back, no one is forcing me. Gu Lingchuan pursed his lips and nodded. Olivia Wen took out her phone, which had been stored for 3 years. The moment she turned it on, tens of thousands of messages flooded in. All messages came from the same person, the most recent one sent today. Olivia, I dreamed about you last night, I miss you so much. A wave of nausea washed over her, and without even looking she deleted all the messages with one click. I heard the youngest son of the Gu family is coming back. It seems like Shanghai is going to change. In a bar, a few friends surrounded Ethan Fu, discussing matters related to the Gu family. The Gu family of Shanghai is a shadow looming over all the wealthy families. When the person in power stamps their foot, the entire city of Shanghai trembles. The Gu family is holding a grand banquet in a few days. Brother Fu, are you planning to go? Ethan Fu absent-mindedly swirled the wine in his glass, not saying a word, clearly uninterested in the matter. Several friends exchanged glances and sighed. Everyone in the circle knew that Fu Ethan was crazy. In the past 3 years he had gone completely mad, not only holding the ashes every day, but also talking to the urn of ashes from time to time, and his methods became increasingly ruthless. Someone once tried to please him with a woman who looked similar to Olivia, but unexpectedly angered him and directly bankrupted that company. From then on, the entire Shanghai knew that the name Olivia Wen was his taboo. But it's a miracle that someone with autism for so many years could recover. It is said that the eldest young master of the Gu family found a psychologist and spent 3 years curing her. There is actually such an amazing psychologist in this world. Ethan Fu suddenly asked, what psychologist? Everyone looked at each other, shaking their heads. Frowning impatiently, Ethan Fu stood up and left, carrying the urn in his arms. 13 On the day of the banquet, all the families in Shanghai came to congratulate. The Gu family's youngest son, who had autism for 20 years, has actually recovered. He will definitely take over the company's assets upon his return this time. If one could please this crown prince or marry their daughter to him, it would be a case of one person attaining enlightenment and their entire family ascending to heaven. Everyone is discussing matters related to this person, anticipating his appearance. Fu Ethan stood expressionlessly to the side, his eyes fixed on the banquet hall entrance. He had only ever met one such amazing psychologist, Olivia Wen, so he was intensely curious about the psychologist working for the Gu family's heir. The lights suddenly dimmed and music slowly began to play in the banquet hall. Everyone looked towards the banquet hall doors, eager to see what the young master, hidden away for 20 years, looked like. Behind the door, Olivia Wen, dressed in a haute couture gown worth millions, linked her arm with Gu Lingchuan's and chuckled softly. Is it going to be too much if I enter with you at your main event? Gu Lingchuan said gently, with me you are the main event. His gaze was so affectionate the emotions were almost overflowing. After a decade-long relationship ending in betrayal, Olivia Wen is now afraid to easily start a new relationship, and for a moment she doesn't know how to respond. Gu Lingchuan seemed to see something and reached out to rub her hair. Don't be afraid, I'm here. Hearing these words, Olivia Wen suddenly felt at ease. The banquet hall doors slowly opened, and the two exchanged a smile hand in hand as they approached the banquet. They looked so well-matched that everyone gasped in amazement. But Fu Ethan froze on the spot, unable to believe his eyes. It was Olivia. It was actually Olivia Wen, she's not dead. In an instant, a huge surge of joy flooded my heart. I crushed the wine glass in my hand, not caring about my palm being cut by the glass. He rushed forward. Olivia. You're not dead, that's great, why didn't you come find me, I've been waiting for you. He was about to step forward and hug her when Gu Lingchuan blocked him. Mr. Fu, what do you think you're doing to my girlfriend? Girlfriend? These 3 words were like a bucket of cold water, instantly sobering Fu Ethan. Seeing their hands clasped together for a moment, he felt as if his heart was being twisted by a knife. How could this be? She clearly loved him. They had been in love for 10 years, how could she become someone else's girlfriend? With bloodshot eyes, Ethan Fu roared. When Olivia is my wife, we have been in love for 10 years and we are a legally married couple. Are you saying I should marry a dog, or that my fake marriage certificate is also with a dog? When Olivia's voice was faint, her tone full of sarcasm. The surroundings erupted in an uproar. No one expected there to be a fake marriage certificate involved. Fu always acts so affectionate, I didn't expect him to have done something like this. If it were Miss Wen, she would never forgive him in this lifetime. Now Miss Wen's boyfriend is the crown prince of the Gu family, who still cares about Fu. She actually knew about the marriage certificate a long time ago. Olivia, it's my fault, I just wanted to play a joke on you, please forgive me, aren't you the one who loves me the most? Fu Ethan begged for forgiveness in the humblest tone of his life, his eyes full of madness as he looked at her. Once upon a time she was moved by such eyes. But now she only felt disgusted, so disgusted. President Fu, I seem to remember you having a girlfriend. Isn't it a bit shameless to keep pestering me? I only have you. No one else. Lu Lily has already been sent to prison. Believe me, I was deceived by her before too. When Olivia dodged his touch, Lingchuan, it's getting late. Let the banquet begin. Gu Lingchuan nodded, and the next second a group of men in black appeared, forcibly holding down Fu Ethan and dragging him away. 14 After the banquet, Gu Lingchuan took off his suit and put it on Olivia Wen. Thank you. Didn't I tell you a long time ago, you don't have to be so polite with me? Olivia Wen explained, it's not just because of this, but also thank you for helping me out today. Besides, everyone thinks you're my girlfriend now. Is that hindering you from finding a girlfriend? Maybe after a while I should explain it. Gu Lingchuan slowly squatted down, looking at her earnestly, and said, Olivia, I'm not just helping you out of a tight spot. Every word I said is from the bottom of my heart. He had lived in autism for over 20 years, and the first thing he saw when he stepped out of his own world was her. Gradually this woman also walked into his heart. She was kind, intelligent, and responsible. In the 3 years on the island he had already fallen hopelessly in love with her. When Olivia blinked and tilted her head, there was someone like you who fell in love with me while I was treating him, but I'm not like him. Gu Lingchuan interrupted her. I love you because you are good in yourself, not because you are good to me. Olivia Wen was stunned, her breathing becoming lighter. I like you, Olivia, thank you for bringing me out of that world with only myself, but for the days to come I want to be with you. Straightforward and bold. Olivia suddenly felt a little flustered. She lowered her head and thought for a long time before finally speaking. After what happened 3 years ago, I've become very resistant to relationships, and I'm not ready to start a new one. Lingchuan, if I can't reciprocate your feelings, I'll keep waiting. Gu Lingchuan didn't hesitate at all. But during this time, let me play your boyfriend. If you really don't give me a response in the future, then I will cherish these days we have. He and Fu Ethan are really different. Fu Ethan is stubborn and arrogant. When they were together she was always the one accommodating him. Taking a deep breath, when Olivia opened her arms and gently hugged Gu Lingchuan. It was their first embrace, yet they fit together unexpectedly well. Faintly she could hear the sound of her own heart beating. When Olivia returned to the hospital where she used to work, everyone was shocked to see her alive. Olivia, you're really alive. Do you know Mr. Fu almost went crazy thinking you were dead? It was also at this time that when Olivia learned what Fu Ethan had done over the past few years. He had people keep her office and he would take the time to sleep there for a day each week. Not only that, but every year on her birthday Fu Ethan would set off fireworks across the city to celebrate her birthday, and everyone knew how much he loved this woman named Olivia. Last year he bought the largest pink diamond in the world and named it after her. For a time, everyone said how much Ethan Fu loved Olivia and everyone thought Ethan Fu was a man of deep affection. If someone could treat me like that, I'd die happy. Colleagues sighed. However, listening to all of this, Olivia only felt that Ethan Fu was hypocritical to the point of nausea. She took out the family photo she had left in the drawer, turned around and left the hospital. After a sleepless night, Ethan Fu stood at the door, his eyes bloodshot. Olivia, I really know I was wrong. You're the only one I love. Please forgive me this time. As he said this, the usually proud President Fu actually knelt down to her in public. Olivia suddenly laughed and raised her hand to slap him hard across the face. This slap is for Xiaoyu. She always treated you like her own brother, but because of you she ended up with no remains left. After speaking, another slap. This slap is for myself, for 10 years of youth and deep love, all played by you. As soon as she finished speaking, a third slap followed. This time it's for our relationship. Ethan Fu, I regret loving someone like you for so long. Ethan Fu didn't dodge once and even took her hand. Do you feel better? If not, you can keep hitting me, I won't fight back. When you've calmed down, I'll have someone prepare our wedding. Would you like to have it here or abroad? We can do both. Olivia felt a little tired. She said quietly, Ethan, I don't love you anymore and I won't marry you. I don't love you anymore. These 5 words were like 5 knives, each one stabbing him and drawing blood. How could it hurt so much? He could accept everything, but the one thing he couldn't accept was Olivia not loving him. He raised his head in a disheveled manner, his expression dark and gloomy. I know you're still angry, but Olivia, don't joke about something like this. I'm not joking. From the day you killed Xiaoyu, all I feel when I see you is disgust. Ignoring his disarray, Olivia turned and left. The next second she felt a darkness before her eyes and lost consciousness. 15 I woke up again in the Fu family's villa. She was lying on her old bed, her hands and feet bound with iron chains. Olivia, you're awake. Fu Ethan's voice came from above, and she realized that she was actually lying in Fu Ethan's arms. Have you been sleeping for so long? Are you a little hungry? The man placed a kiss on her forehead, then got up and put on an apron. Do you want pasta or fried rice? My skills aren't great, but I can manage to fill your stomach. His tone was calm, but his face was etched with a captivating obsession. I won't eat the food you make. Then I'll have the servants make it for you and bring it here. Olivia took a deep breath and said calmly, Let me leave, Ethan Fu. We haven't had any relationship for a long time. Who said we don't have a relationship? He suddenly rushed over and pinned her down, kissing her passionately to prove how intimate they were. Feeling the man's tongue swirling in her mouth, Olivia almost threw up. She bit the man's lip hard and soon her mouth was filled with the taste of blood. Fu Ethan didn't seem to feel any pain, and he kissed her for a long time until she had difficulty breathing before letting go. Wiping the blood from his mouth, he laughed maniacally. Olivia, our contact may have been severed for 3 years, but from now on, you will be with me forever, in life and in death. These handcuffs and shackles are made of steel. The people in the villa have long been sent away by me. There are only 2 of us here. From now on, no one will ever be able to take you away from me. Seeing his crazed eyes, Olivia suddenly began to feel afraid. She was all too familiar with this version of Ethan Fu. The obsessive maniac was back. Well, perhaps even worse than before, he was crazy enough to imprison her. The meal was quickly prepared and Ethan Fu personally fed her. Olivia avoided the meal he offered. I won't eat your food. Either let me go or watch me die here. She added mockingly, President Fu once forced me to take psychiatric drugs. Are you now going to force feed me? In an instant Ethan Fu's eyes turned dull. He embraced her in frustration, saying madly, Then let's die together. He's a madman, only Olivia can bring him back to normal. But now even she doesn't want him anymore. In the evening Ethan Fu wanted to be intimate with her. This time Olivia didn't resist but just looked at him with disgust. You disgust me. These words made Ethan freeze. He was silent for a long time and finally let her go, simply holding her as he fell asleep. It had been 3 years and this was the most peaceful he had slept. The next day he woke up in a panic, searching for Olivia. Only when he saw her in his arms did he breathe a sigh of relief, then got up to cook breakfast. However, when he carefully prepared breakfast, Olivia still refused to eat it. "Let me go, Ethan Fu, there's nothing between us anymore." She hated him, but she wouldn't let herself live in hatred forever. Hearing her say there was nothing between them, Ethan Fu flew into a rage and in front of her, threw all the food into the trash can. "I said even if we die we will die together." Olivia smiled bitterly. She now regretted meeting Ethan Fu more than ever. For several days in a row, Ethan Fu meticulously prepared the food for every meal, but each time the food ended up in the trash can. Because she hadn't eaten for too long, Olivia was so weak that she couldn't stand up and could only curl up in bed. "What will it take for you to eat properly? Let me go. I have a boyfriend now, let's not torture each other anymore." Ethan's eyes instantly turned red. "I know you're still angry, how about I let you vent your anger?" The next second he smashed the bowl on the ground, then stepped expressionlessly over the shards of glass, not stopping even when his feet were covered in blood. "Are you appeased now?" Olivia turned her head. "Even if you die, I will never forgive you." Ethan Fu knelt down, slapping himself frantically until his mouth was full of blood. "Are you feeling better now?" "Madman, you are truly a madman." Olivia knew that his paranoia was worse than before. But this time she didn't want to save him anymore. Ethan chuckled, picked up a fruit knife and fiercely sliced off a piece of his own flesh. "Now then, are you appeased?" Blood flowed all over the ground. Olivia sneered. "If you have the ability, torture yourself to death. I, in this life, the next life, for all eternity, will never forgive you." As the words fell, another piece of flesh was sliced off. Crazy, truly crazy. She closed her eyes, no longer looking at him. Ethan Fu stubbornly cut off 3 pieces of his own flesh, but still didn't receive a word of forgiveness from her. 16 Just as he was about to cut off his 4th piece of flesh, the villa door was suddenly broken open. A group of bodyguards rushed in and pinned him to the ground. "Who are you? How did you get in here?" A bodyguard kicked him, warning, "Behave yourself." Ethan Fu struggled madly, looking at Gu Lingchuan walking in with disbelief. Impossible. He had built the villa to be impregnable, how could they have gotten in? Gu Lingchuan didn't even look at him, stepping forward to scoop up Olivia into his arms. "Olivia, I'm here to save you. Sorry I'm late, this place is too secure. It took me so long just to break down the front door." Looking at the weak Olivia, he deeply regretted why he couldn't have been faster. Olivia, who had been holding on with all her might, suddenly relaxed when she saw him. Before she could say anything, her head tilted and she fainted in his arms. "I woke up again in the hospital." As she moved, she startled Gu Lingchuan, who was dozing off by the bed. "Olivia, you're finally awake. Do you feel any discomfort anywhere?" The man was unshaven, his eyes bloodshot. It was clear he hadn't rested in order to take care of her. Her heart stirred as if a warm current was slowly flowing from the tip of her heart. Since her parents passed away, no one has ever waited by her window again. When she was with Fu Ethan before, he would only say he was busy when she was sick, and then ask the servants to take care of her. Actually, whether someone cares is obvious, she was just blinded before. If it weren't for him, she doesn't know how much longer she would have tormented each other with Fu Ethan. Shaking her head when Olivia whispered, "No, I'm much better. Lingchuan, thank you so much this time." Gu Lingchuan breathed a sigh of relief and suddenly hugged her tightly, speaking with lingering fear. "You scared me to death. Luckily I rescued you. Do you know how worried I was? Almost I would never have seen you again." His voice choked and tears kept falling. This was the first time in so long that he was so afraid of losing someone. She didn't expect him to cry for her. Olivia was stunned, letting him hold her for a long time. "Olivia, I know this is a bit sudden, but I'm really scared." Gu Lingchuan released her, his gentle gaze falling on her face. "Are you willing to try to accept me now? Even if you don't like me, can you try to accept me? If I'm lucky, maybe one day in the future you will truly fall in love with me." When Olivia thought of the moment he rescued her, leaning in his arms, she could feel her heart beating fast. How could she not be moved, facing the confession of a handsome man every day? But it would be unfair to him before she completely fell in love with him. What if I can never completely fall in love with you? That's not fair to you. There's never really any fairness in matters of the heart, baby. Are you already starting to like me? Suddenly being called baby made Olivia blush instantly. She nodded and whispered, Lingchuan, let's give it a try. This incident made her understand a principle. People can't be trapped in the past forever. Why can't she accept a good relationship and nurture it well? Gu Lingchuan was thrilled but afraid of scaring her, so he asked cautiously. So, are you my girlfriend now? Yes. My boyfriend. Then can I kiss you now? When Olivia chuckled and nodded. The next second, Gu Lingchuan leaned down and gently touched her lips. Even when kissing, Gu Lingchuan was still very gentle, treating her as if she were a treasure. When Olivia didn't expect to feel no resistance at all. She closed her eyes, realizing that deep down she liked him. Fu Ethan stood outside the hospital room door, his heart twisting as he watched this scene. So, it was true when she said she didn't love him anymore. She didn't love him anymore, she had a new lover. Why did it have to be this way? Back then she loved him so much, promising to be together for a lifetime. But now why does she say she doesn't love him anymore? As if all strength had been drained from his body, Ethan Fu abruptly tore off the bandage on his arm. Fresh blood immediately gushed out like a faucet, but he laughed. From morning till night Ethan Fu smoked an entire pack of cigarettes. Surrounded by blood and cigarette butts, he stubbed out the last cigarette, got up and went to find Olivia. When Olivia saw someone standing by the bed as she was half asleep. Just as she was about to scream, the man suddenly covered her mouth. Olivia, it's me. The hospital room light was turned on, and Ethan Fu stood wearily to the side. Don't make a sound, I want to talk to you. Olivia breathed a sigh of relief when she realized he wasn't a bad person and looked at him coldly. What do you want to do again? Do you want to imprison me again? Ethan Fu narrowed his eyes, subconsciously wanting to take a cigarette, but he suddenly remembered she didn't like it, so he put it down again. Olivia smiled sarcastically, looking at him with disgust. Everything he does now seems like acting. Olivia, I dreamed about our past last night. He looked at her with burning eyes. Do you remember that time I had an episode and locked you in the small dark room, not letting you leave me? You stayed with me for 3 days and 3 nights. Not only were you not angry with me, but you kept comforting me. Do you also remember that year we were on the snow mountain and encountered an avalanche? We thought we were going to die, but our first thought was that it was good we could die together. When we were most in love, you even had my name tattooed over her heart. He spoke of things past, but Olivia felt not a ripple in her heart. The moment she decided to leave, none of those things mattered anymore. I've already forgotten everything you're talking about. Forgot. 10 years they had been through so much. But now she says she has forgotten. Ethan Fu's breath hitched, feeling as if his heart was being repeatedly fried in a pan. He suddenly knelt down and kowtowed frantically to her, until his head was covered in blood. I'm sorry, forgive me, don't leave me, I will die. Then go die. When Olivia said these words, she only felt that her hatred was relieved. She really wished he were dead. A look of despair appeared in Ethan Fu's eyes. Only now did he finally understand completely that she hated him, wished he were dead. He only regrets now why he was deceived by Lu Lily, and why he was so obsessed with doing such a thing. With a look of madness in his eyes, Fu Ethan laughed maniacally. He touched Olivia's face and said gently, Then Olivia, why don't you kill me with your own hands? We must be together in life and death, forever and ever. But I can't bear to see you die, so if you kill me with your own hands, can that appease your anger? As a psychiatrist, when Olivia could tell at a glance that he was truly insane. Stepping back 2 steps in horror. What do you want? Fu Ethan held her hand, stuffed a dagger into it and suddenly stabbed it into his own abdomen. Eewa! Olivia screamed, You're crazy, you're really crazy. I've been crazy for a long time. Ethan Fu's eyes were bloodshot. From the moment you fell in love with someone else, I was already crazy. Just as he was about to stab a second time, the hospital room door was suddenly opened. Gu Lingchuan stepped forward and punched Ethan Fu in the face. You're a maniac. Just because you don't want to live, do you have to drag Olivia down with you? He grabbed Ethan Fu by the collar and slammed him to the ground, beating him. Each punch was heavier than the last and soon there was blood. Stop fighting, someone will die if you keep this up, Olivia Wen stopped him. Hearing her voice, Gu Lingchuan finally calmed down and stopped. The hospital doctors and nurses rushed in and quickly lifted Ethan Fu onto a stretcher. Olivia Wen didn't give him any look, only held Gu Lingchuan's hand, feeling extremely distressed. There was no need to be so rough, your joints are all red. It's okay as long as you're all right. There are too many irrelevant people here. I'll take you back to the Gu family to recuperate. Holding the person in his arms, he planted a kiss without explanation. Before losing consciousness, Fu Ethan watched them kissing passionately, spitting out a mouthful of blood and passing out. 18 Olivia Wen moved into the Gu family and was welcomed by everyone. Mr. and Mrs. Gu were very open-minded. After learning about her past experiences, their eyes were filled with heartache. They didn't expect such an outstanding child to have suffered so much. Mrs. Gu said, "You can live in our house from now on for as long as you want. It would be wonderful if you could stay for a lifetime. Don't think she can't tell her own stinky boy has long been deeply in love with her." Unexpectedly, the Gu family is so kind to her. Olivia Wen is a little embarrassed. To repay them, she accompanies Mother Gu to arrange flowers and feed the fish every day, and sometimes they discuss psychology together. Because of Gu Lingchuan, Mother Gu is very interested in this area, and the two have gradually become close friends despite their age difference. The days were unprecedentedly peaceful, and these were the happiest days Olivia Wen had had in recent years. This day Gu Lingchuan returned early, carrying a delicate little cake in his hand. "Olivia, happy birthday." Only then did Olivia Wen remember that today was actually her birthday. Since her parents passed away, no one had celebrated her birthday anymore, and she hadn't remembered when her birthday was for years. "How did you know it was my birthday today? If you put your heart into it, you can know anything. Baby, are you happy today?" Olivia Wen nodded emphatically. She was so happy. He was right. With enough effort, anything can be known, but in those 10 years Ethan Fu never once proactively celebrated her birthday. In truth, that love was always very cheap. It's laughable that she was trapped for so long. She looked up and kissed Gu Lingchuan for the first time. The two embraced for a long time before finally letting go. "I'll cut the cake for you, make a wish." A wish. Her biggest wish used to be for Xiaoyu's heart disease to get better. After Xiaoyu died, she had no other wishes. But perhaps a wish is the beginning of a new life. She put her hands together, about to make a wish, when an excited voice suddenly came from outside. "Where's Olivia? I want to see her. Tell her to come out and see me." "Olivia, come out, I have something important to talk to you about." Gu Lingchuan looked displeased and was about to have the bodyguard take the person away, but when Olivia stopped him. She knew the person who came. It was Fu Ethan's good buddy and they used to have a good relationship. "Sister-in-law, go and see brother Fu. He's been drinking heavily every day, neglecting the company. He's practically ruined." Olivia Wen said coldly, "We have nothing to do with each other anymore. You should call me Miss Wen. Besides, whatever he's like now has nothing to do with me. You should go find a therapist if there's a problem." The friend said awkwardly, "But no one can cure him except you. He won't give up if you don't go see him." "Then please give him a message. Just say that I'm getting married." Everyone was stunned, thinking they had misheard. When Olivia suddenly took Guru's hand, "I already have a new lover and I'm getting married soon. I hope you won't bother me anymore." The friend looked embarrassed and also guessed that his good buddy was ruined for life, so he fled in panic. "Olivia, is what you just said true?" Gu Lingchuan asked, then quickly explained, "I know you were trying to make that person give up, but I was really happy just now. Don't worry, I won't force you to marry me. As long as you're willing to be with me, it doesn't matter if we never get married." Seeing his flustered explanation, when Olivia chuckled, "How do you know I was joking?" Gu Lingchuan was stunned, a huge surprise welling up in his eyes. "Gu Lingchuan, let's get engaged. I think I've completely fallen in love with you." Perhaps the 3 years spent together day and night on the island had already fostered feelings for each other, but they just needed a catalyst. Gu Lingchuan opened his eyes wide in disbelief, picking her up and spinning her around. He was simply too happy. From the very first day they were together, he had prepared himself for the possibility that she would never like him. And now she had actually said with her own mouth that she had completely fallen in love with him. Putting her down, Gu Lingchuan took out a delicate ring box from his pocket. The box opened to reveal a diamond ring, large and intimidating. When Olivia gasped in surprise, "How could you carry something like this on you?" "From the first day we returned to Shanghai, I was ready to propose to you at any moment. I just didn't expect this day to come so soon." This was the diamond ring he had seen long ago, of which there was only one in the world, signifying that he would only have one Olivia in his life. Hearing the commotion, Gu's father, Gu's mother, and the eldest brother, Gu Yuan, all came out to witness this important moment for them. The man slowly knelt down, looking at Olivia with a devout expression. "Olivia, you may not know this, but the first time I saw you was at the Fu family's banquet. From the first moment I saw you, I was deeply attracted to you, but you already had someone else by your side. It's a miracle that a boy with autism would fall in love with a stranger at first sight. Actually, I find it incredible myself. Later, you were invited by Big Brother to become a psychologist, and that became the happiest thing for me. In these 3 years I saw you reading and studying diligently, I saw you go swimming in the sea when you were happy, and I also saw you crying alone under the stars when you were sad. I want to say I actually liked you a long time ago, even before you knew me." Olivia covered her mouth and wept. She didn't expect that in an unknown corner, someone had liked her for so long. "Olivia, will you marry me? I will love you infinitely in my limited life and will not let you be wronged." The people around started to egg them on. "Marry him. Marry him." Gu Yuan smiled and said, "Sister-in-law, please agree to his proposal for the sake of him liking you for so many years." "I do." Olivia choked out, not expecting Gu Lingchuan to propose to her so formally in front of all their relatives. The diamond ring was slowly placed on her finger, and she stared at it blankly for a long time, suddenly feeling a sense of peace. Her life is about to enter a new stage, and she will leave all those who have hurt her behind. The entire Gu family was saddened by the engagement, and after discussion the engagement ceremony was set for a week later. Olivia was a little nervous as the last memory was not pleasant. Gu Lingchuan ruffled her hair and comforted her. "Don't be nervous, I will take care of everything. He always keeps his word." During this time, Olivia didn't have to worry about anything, just choose the clothes and jewelry she liked. On the day of the engagement, all the major families in Shanghai came. Everyone didn't expect that the second young master of the Gu family would get engaged so quickly, and even more so that he would marry Olivia who has no family background. It is said that the wheel of fortune turns, and no one imagined that the biggest joke of the circle had climbed the high branch of the Gu family. However, Gu Lingchuan's words at the engagement ceremony stunned everyone. "Thank you, Olivia, for loving me. Being able to marry you is an honor I, Gu Lingchuan, don't deserve." Those who don't know Olivia won't understand how wonderful she is. Everyone's expression changed, but Gu's parents showed no dissatisfaction, and even happily watched the two drink the nuptial cup. Everyone present was astute and immediately understood that this wasn't Olivia trying to marry up, but rather the Gu family eagerly bringing her into their home. Being the kind of people who judge others and act accordingly, everyone immediately began to compliment Olivia At the Fu family villa, a drunken Ethan Fu saw the news of the Gu family heir's engagement on his phone and instantly sobered up. 20 in the news when Olivia and Gu Lingchuan were holding hands tightly, the affection in their eyes almost overflowing. Engaged. She actually married someone else. Why didn't he know? Why is he only finding out about this now? We were afraid you'd be upset, so we kept this from you. His brother patted him on the shoulder. Give up, it's no use crying over spilled milk, and we can't afford to offend the heir of the Gu family. But Ethan Fu couldn't hear anything at all. He only had one thought in his head. No way. He would never allow Olivia to marry someone else. Thinking of this, he rushed out like a madman. The sports car sped along. Ethan Fu ran countless red lights all the way, rushing towards the Gu family as if his life depended on it. However, when he arrived, the engagement ceremony was already over. When Olivia and Gu Lingchuan were seeing guests off at the front door, standing side by side, smiling at each other, their eyes full of love when they looked at each other. This scene stung Fu Ethan's eyes, and he felt a pain in his heart that made it hard to breathe. The alcohol hadn't worn off and he staggered towards Olivia, but unexpectedly a car came and knocked him flying. A loud screech of brakes sounded, and the surrounding people formed a circle, blocking Olivia's view. What happened? Looks like there was a car accident. Don't worry, someone will handle it. Mr. and Mrs. Gu came over. We'll take care of things here. Don't see blood on your big day. Hurry inside and enjoy your time together. Olivia was a little embarrassed and smiled as she hid in Gu Lingchuan's arms. In the distance, the immense pain blurred Ethan Fu's vision. He wanted to call out to her, but his voice was hoarse and he couldn't utter a word. He could only watch helplessly as the two of them walked away hand in hand. Don't marry him. He spat out a mouthful of blood, staring intently in the direction they left. Olivia, don't marry him, let me take you away. Let me take you away, okay? Let me take you to buy your favorite wedding dress. Didn't you say you wanted to wear it for me? In a blur, he seemed to see 10 years ago when Olivia excitedly pulled him into a bridal shop, pointing to a pristine wedding dress and smiling brightly. When we get married, I want to wear a wedding dress that's 100 times more beautiful than this one. He had countless opportunities to marry her, but each time he personally gave them up. Meanwhile, in the Shanghai women's prison, Lily Lu was disheveled and eating on the ground like a dog. The head honcho here was amused by her appearance and burst into laughter. After laughing, she raised her hand and slapped her across the face a few more times. Who allowed you to eat so fast? Do you want another beating? I was wrong, don't hit me, please don't hit me anymore. Lily Lu cowered in the corner, crying and saying she wouldn't dare to do it again. However, no one listened to her. They cornered her and each gave her a kick, followed by several slaps before leaving. Lily Lu wailed from the beating, curled up on the ground for a long time before finally getting back on her feet. For the past 3 years she had been beaten every day, her body no longer had a single patch of good skin, and she could only linger here, barely surviving. In these days there wasn't a single day she didn't hate. Hate Olivia hate Ethan Fu, wishing she could skin them alive. But as soon as she thought that Olivia was already dead, she felt a burst of joy in her heart. Lily Lu ate the leftover rice that had been stepped on, casually grabbed the newspaper next to her to wipe her mouth, and her eyes widened as she caught sight of the words on it. Seeing Olivia Wen's name, her first reaction was that it was someone with the same name, until she saw the photo above. She would recognize Olivia Wen's face even if it was turned to ashes. But wasn't she already dead? It must be fake. How could someone fall off a cliff and come back alive? That's impossible. Lily Lu screamed like a madwoman, staring intently at the newspaper as if she wanted to bore a hole through it. It really was Olivia she couldn't mistake her. She was still alive, and not just alive but even living better than before. Why is her life so good? Even without Fu Ethan, there's the even wealthier Gu family to marry into, and she can even marry the Gu family's crown prince. Why can she be out there having fun and living freely, while she has to be abused here, living a life worse than death? For the past 3 years she's wanted to end her life every day, but she doesn't have the courage. She's clearly not worse than Olivia, she just has a bit of bad luck. Suddenly tearing the newspaper to shreds, Lily Lu laughed maniacally. Olivia since I can't live, I won't let you have an easy time either. 21 Because of the car accident, Ethan Fu didn't die, but he lost a leg. The Fu family's business was already in decline, and all of its former partners had withdrawn their investments. In just a few days, the once massive Fu Corporation became a pariah. Overnight, Ethan Fu was burdened with huge debts and was kicked out of his villa. Some people tried to find him, but he seemed to have vanished into thin air and could not be found. Olivia was with Madame Gu, looking at the new season's haute couture when she heard the news. When she learned that the person in the car accident that day was actually Ethan Fu, a hint of surprise flashed in her eyes, but after the surprise there was no emotion. Whether it was Ethan Fu or Ethan Lee, they had nothing to do with her. Mother Gu felt a little pity. It's such a shame that the Fu family's good business was ruined like that. Olivia Wen comforted her. There's nothing to regret, whether it's a family or an individual. Everyone has their own destiny, and some people are simply not worthy of their position. Hearing this, Mother Gu nodded in approval. Look at me, you a junior see things more clearly than I do. Alright, let's not talk about this. I heard you like children very much, so when are you planning to marry Ling Chuan? I'm hoping you two will get married soon and give me a grandson or granddaughter. Olivia Wen's face immediately turned red and she said embarrassedly, if there are no accidents, we will get married at the end of this year. As for children, it still depends on fate. Mother Gu was very happy and immediately pulled her to start choosing a suitable dress. She had long been regarded as her daughter-in-law, and Gu's mother even directly took out several black cards and stuffed them to her. I can't accept this. Take it, we're all family sooner or later. Unable to refuse, Olivia Wen had no choice but to accept. In the garden, the transformed Ethan Fu painfully shed tears as he overheard Olivia Wen discussing marriage. He was now burdened with enormous debts and could have fled abroad, but he chose to stay and become a servant for the Gu family. For no other reason than that here he could see her every day. Yet here he witnessed Olivia Wen and Ling Chuan Gu's intimacy every day. He saw a familiar look in Olivia's eyes. That kind of look only appeared when she was truly in love with someone. There was nothing in the world more painful than seeing the person you loved fall in love with someone else. He regretted it now, wishing he could go back in time and beat the hell out of him who hurt Olivia. If those things hadn't happened, the person with her now would only be him. Olivia Wen walked into the garden, feeling a burning gaze fixed on her. She turned back but found no one behind her. Perhaps she was overthinking it. Olivia Wen shook her head and turned to meet Ling Chuan Gu. Ling Chuan, you're back. She threw herself into Ling Chuan Gu's arms like a homing bird, her eyes full of joy. The next second, a large bouquet of flowers was thrust into her hands. The blue roses sparkled brilliantly in the sunlight, a breathtaking sight. Baby, did you love me a little more today? When Olivia smiled, her eyes crinkling, yes, a little more than yesterday. She could feel herself falling in love with him little by little, much faster than she had imagined. Gu Lingchuan picked her up in his arms, kissed her forehead and said softly, then when you're 100% in love with me we'll get married. How have you become so greedy? Didn't you used to say it didn't matter even if I didn't like you? Sure enough, men are all big trotters, always taking an inch when given a foot. The two rubbed noses affectionately and laughed. Olivia, people are greedy. When you didn't love me, I hoped you would love me. When you loved me, I wanted you to love me even more. Now I'm even greedier, hoping you'll love me 100%. I know you will because that's the confidence you give me. Olivia's eyes were a little wet. It wasn't that she gave him confidence, it was he who gave her immense confidence, allowing her to open her heart again and have the ability to love again. Olivia wrapped her arms around the man's neck, tilted her head and gave him a kiss. As she tried to leave, Gu Lingchuan held her and deepened the kiss. They kissed passionately until they were breathless, finally breaking apart, panting for air. Olivia was a little embarrassed and playfully punched his chest, shyly saying, "What are you doing? We're still outside. Don't worry, the servants have all gone to rest, no one will see." However, she didn't know that in the corner behind them Ethan Fu, dragging his heavy right leg, was watching their intimacy intently. Pain. It was so painful. But if he couldn't see her, it would be even more painful, even more maddening. Every day now he lives as if drinking poison to quench his thirst. Perhaps one day he will not be able to bear it and die here, but he just wants to take one more look at Olivia Wen in his limited life. 22 time flies and Olivia Wen returns to work at the hospital again. Because of her excellent professional skills, she quickly becomes a well-known psychologist in the field. It happened to be Gu Lingchuan's birthday that day, and when Olivia had originally planned to leave work early, but a new patient suddenly arrived. After hesitating for a moment, she chose to see this last patient before going home. She sent an apologetic text message to Gu Lingchuan and sighed. She knew that Lingchuan would understand her, but she still felt a little guilty. The office door opened and Lily Lu, bundled up tightly, sat down in the patient's chair. Finding this person a bit strange, Olivia Wen asked, "Where do you feel unwell?" "Dr. Wen, do you remember me?" The hoarse voice sounded like a duck, and Olivia Wen didn't recognize who the person in front of her was, asking in confusion, "Do I know you?" "I'd recognize you even if you were ashes." "When Olivia, you're actually not dead." Lily suddenly tore off the mask on her face, pulled out a knife hidden on her body, and held it against Olivia's neck. "How are you not dead? You're actually not dead. Why must I live a life worse than death, while you can still live your good life?" Her face was aged beyond recognition, her whole body was disheveled, and she trembled like a madwoman when she spoke. "It's you." Olivia Wen recognized her and immediately quietly dialed Gu Lingchuan's phone for help. "It's me. Are you disappointed to see that I didn't die?" "There's nothing to regret." Olivia Wen's tone was indifferent. "I've never understood why you hate me so much. Is it just because of Ethan Fu?" "Of course not. Olivia Wen, do you even know how annoying you are? In high school you were the school beauty that everyone loved, always surrounded like a star. Me? No one liked me, I didn't even have a single friend." Hearing this reason, Olivia only felt absurd. "But I don't know you." However, these words seemed to enrage Lily. With a forceful movement, the blade instantly left a cut on her fair neck. "Of course you don't know me. After graduating from high school I got plastic surgery and became even more beautiful than you. But why can you win men's hearts and become a rich wife, but I can't, even though I'm no worse than you in any way?" She wasn't wrong. If she hadn't been so determined to get close to Fu Ethan, she could have easily hooked a rich second generation with her post-surgery looks and lived the life of a wealthy wife. But unfortunately she chose a madman like Fu Ethan. Olivia Wen was silent for a moment. The love of someone like Fu Ethan was not something ordinary people could afford. "If you want money, let me go, I can get you money and I won't call the police." Lily laughed out loud, but her laughter turned into tears. Her life was already ruined. What was the use of money? She might as well drag him down to hell with her. "Come with me, don't struggle or I'll kill you." When Olivia nodded and obediently followed her out of the hospital, arriving at the mountains outside the city. She just didn't expect that she would bring her to the place where she fell off the cliff back then. Thinking about it, it was really a stroke of luck. She almost died here. Standing where she almost died, when Olivia was not afraid, because she knew that Gu Lingchuan would come to save her soon. Sure enough, the sound of sirens soon came from the mountain. Gu Lingchuan ran over and his pupils constricted sharply when he saw Olivia being held hostage at the edge of the cliff. "Let her go, I'll give you anything as long as you let her go." Gu Lingchuan clenched his hands tightly, his body already soaked with sweat. "You can give me anything?" Lily Lu asked suddenly. "Anything as long as you don't hurt her." The blade moved closer to Olivia Wen's neck. Lily Lu asked, "What if I said I want your life?" "You can have it." Without the slightest hesitation, Gu Lingchuan immediately agreed. "You let her go and I'll put my life in your hands." "Lingchuan, don't." Olivia Wen's eyes blurred with tears. She hadn't expected Gu Lingchuan to answer so decisively. "Olivia, as long as you're okay, I'll do anything." "Olivia, don't be afraid, I'll always be with you." Olivia Wen choked with emotion. "You idiot, you're such an idiot. All of you shut up." Lily Lu suddenly shouted, bursting into a mix of tears and laughter. Olivia, why is your life so good that one after another is willing to die for you? Do you know that because of you I lost a child?" She didn't know she was pregnant with Fu Ethan's child when she was sent to prison, so she was beaten to miscarriage by the boss inside, and since then she lost the right to be a mother. But when Fu Ethan found out about this, he only said that she was not worthy, and ordered people to continue to abuse her even more. She only wanted Olivia Wen to die now, and for Ethan Fu to regret everything he had done to her. She kept backing away all the way to the edge of the cliff. "Don't," Gu Lingchuan said fearfully. "Don't back away anymore, there's a cliff behind you. I'll trade myself for her, don't touch her." "President Gu, your life is worthless to me." The cold wind howled as Lily Lu said coldly, "My life is already ruined, my life is worthless, but since your fiancé is so valuable, then she can be buried with me." With that, she suddenly raised the knife and stabbed it towards Olivia Wen's neck. "No!" Gu Lingchuan went crazy, wanting to rush forward, but someone was faster than him. Gripping Lu Lily's knife, Fu Ethan didn't hesitate, pushing Olivia forward. "Fu Ethan, it's actually you." Seeing the person before her, Lu Lily went mad, stabbing him repeatedly with the knife. Blood gushed out, but Fu Ethan didn't turn back, embracing Lu Lily as he charged towards the cliff. As his figure disappeared, he coughed up blood and with all his might managed to say, "I'm sorry," in Olivia Wen's direction. 23 No one expected that Ethan Fu would rush out at the last moment, using his own life to protect Olivia Wen. Lingchuan Gu held her tightly, comforting her. "Don't be afraid, baby, it's all over, no one will hurt you anymore." The heart that had been hanging in her throat finally fell, and when Olivia threw herself into his arms, wailing, "Idiot, you're such an idiot." 3 days later, the search and rescue team found their bodies at the foot of the mountain. Even in death, the two were inextricably intertwined, making it impossible to distinguish between their love and hate. "Ethan Fu, did you ever think that the person who would die with you wouldn't be me but Lily Lu?" Lily Lu died with a fractured skull, her face twisted in a grotesque expression. Ethan Fu, on the other hand, died from excessive blood loss. The police found a necklace in his hand, engraved with a capital F. He actually gave the thing to Olivia Wen, but she didn't even look at it, only saying, "This isn't mine. If no one wants it, just throw it away." In the end, the necklace was taken away by the police and thrown into the junkyard. Olivia Wen and Lingchuan Gu left hand in hand after taking one last look at the body. "Ethan Fu, from now on we are even." However, she still wouldn't forgive him. "All past loves and hates have faded with the wind. I only hope that we truly live by that saying. Never meet again for all eternity." When Olivia took Gu Lingchuan to the cemetery, where her parents and sister were buried. However, in the place belonging to her sister, there were no ashes, only a few pieces of clothing. She told Wenyu about Fu Ethan and Lu Lily, her voice choked with emotion as she spoke. "Xiaoyu, if you have a spirit and can see them down there, you must remember to stay far away. Wait for your sister to come find you and teach those who bullied you a lesson." As she spoke, she choked with sobs. "Xiaoyu was raised by me since she was little. It's a pity she passed away too early and you never met." "I have." "What?" Gu Lingchuan smiled and said, "I've met her. I ran into her at a banquet. She said she was looking for her sister. It was just that he was still deeply trapped in autism at that time. He watched the stars with that little girl with heart disease for a long time, until her sister came to find her. It was because of this that the gentle one Olivia, who picked up her sister, walked into his heart and became the only light in his lonely world." When Olivia was stunned, then suddenly hugged him, silently shedding tears. That winter their wedding was held as scheduled. All the families in Shanghai came to congratulate them. The banquet lasted for 3 days and 3 nights and the scene was grand. "Mr. Gu, do you take Miss Wen to be your wife? To have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish till death do you part?" Gu Lingchuan, "I do." "Ms. Wen, do you take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish till death do you part?" "I do." As they exchanged rings, they smiled at each other. The moment the ring was on, when Olivia suddenly said, "Let me tell you a secret, I'm pregnant." Gu Lingchuan's hand trembled and his eyes instantly turned red. The following year, when Olivia gave birth to a daughter, she named her Gunyinyu to commemorate Wenyu. On the day Gunyinyu was born, a butterfly landed on her swaddling clothes, unwilling to leave for a long time. Olivia Wen leaned against Gu Lingchuan's chest, a look of happiness on her face. For the rest of her life she would be greeted with happiness,